Listen up, Earth Angels. Hold the pose. Even though it feels awkward, hold the pose. I was thinking about sometimes when I would get my picture taken, especially when I was trying to take like sexy pictures, but like any type of pictures, I just wanted to I hate when I have like a bunch of pictures with the same pose. So, I know you're supposed to kind of like pose, pause for a little bit, and then like pose. And so I would be like, and then I would like feel awkward, and I'd be like, have I held this too long? Okay, let me do another one, and then let me do another one. And I would be like moving so much, so uncomfortable with just holding the pose that I look at the camera and all the pictures, I'm like moving too fast to capture the image. I was too anxious that I don't know, that I was too uncomfortable with holding the pose to hold the pose, and it kind of ruined the picture. I feel like you're in this period of you're like, is what I'm doing enough? Did you get it? Was this pose right? Are we ready for the next one? And I'm here to remind you, hold the pose. Keep doing what you're doing. Repetition. Um, if you were posing for the Mona Lisa, okay, you go there on the first day he starts painting and you got to hold the pose. And you can't just hold the pose for that day. You got to come back the next day and hold the pose again. And sometimes you got to hold the pose over and over, stay in the same position for a long time until the masterpiece is complete. Okay, Mona Lisa? So hold the pose. I'm thinking about like I used to play a bit of basketball back in my day. And, in order, like we used to practice, you gotta, when you shoot, I'm trying to like get my whole arm in so you can see the pose. Okay. You gotta do some of this and then and the most important part is the follow through. I don't know, something about the physics of the ball like kind of rolls off your hand and then off these two fingers, and then you hold the pose. And it actually looks really dope if the ball goes in. It's like, and you can walk away backwards just holding the pose. And I bet there's something about if you like let it go and then like pull your hand back, or you shoot the ball and then I don't know, just go limp wrist, something about it like the air waves or something, it just throws off the trajectory. Okay, if you don't hold the pose, if you don't hold your follow through. Okay, so yeah, you've been doing something and you're like, is this good enough? Should I do something else? Should I do another pose? And that like kind of discomfort with just holding the pose is going to push your manifestation, the thing you want to materialize, it's going to push it away. It's making the vision cloudy. The vision is shaky because you're moving too much. Slow down. Hold the pose. Hold your follow through. I was thinking too about like an echo. Okay? So this is kind of an echo. You say hello, and then if you wait, you'll hear hello, hello, hello. You'll hear it clearly. But if you go, hello, is anyone here? What can I do? Like, who is it? It's anybody like, you're gonna hear back, hello, blah, 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 blah. It's like the sound is gonna be bouncing off. You put too many factors in. So now the different sounds are bouncing off the walls and the echoes are all echoing and the message isn't clear anymore. If you were just to go, hello, then you will get the message back clearly. If someone's like, okay, ready to take your picture, and you're like, okay, ready, and you hold the pose, you're going to get a clear shot. As opposed to if you go, okay, ready. Okay, and then what about this? Or how about this? Or do my hands look weird? This. It's just hold the pose. Let the shot develop, okay? I think maybe back in the day when photography first started, you kind of did have to hold the pose for maybe a long time. That's why people sometimes looked so like it's just because like you had to wait a while, so it's like you're not gonna be able to smile for that long. So you got to pick a comfortable pose, okay? And so you might currently be in a pose that has become comfortable. And maybe the uncomfortable part is doing this pose, doing this thing over and over again, holding this pose. Maybe it's more comfortable for you to do one thing one day and then maybe go back to your old habits. Um, and then go back to it, the day after, and just you're not consistently holding the pose. So maybe you are calling in, you're hearing about the goddess Hecate, who is the goddess of the crossroads, of the liminal, of the in between, which is a really powerful, creative place to be in. Very magical place, you know? Um, and so is this period where you're holding the pose. If you want to make like I know it's a lot of things you can make in a mold. The thing I'm thinking of is like if you wanted to make an insertable, an sex toy, you have to like make a cast. You put it in while it's in like the wet plaster or whatever, and you got to hold it there for it to be able to congeal, harden, solidify, and then you can use it how you want. But if you're trying to take a mold of the thing and it's like moving around, it's never going to solidify. You're never going to be able to use it for the thing you want to use it because you're just too busy moving. So you are right now in this liminal space. You've taken the action, you shot the ball, and it's the moment after that you're a little unsure of. And you're a little like, oh, okay, I should go now. I gotta go play defense. Just hold the shot for a little bit, okay? And so you're in that place proverbially. You took an action, you delivered the message, you put out the artwork, you started a new routine, maybe you started working out. And if you're like me, you like an instant result, but things take time to materialize in this physical reality, in this 3D reality. So you can't just, run your 3 miles one day and then go back to what you usually do. You got to run 3 miles every day. And then eventually your new vessel will solidify. So yeah, sometimes we can, and I also, so back with like an echo, okay, isn't like light is faster than sound. And so some of us who are here to share messages, be airbenders, to say things that change reality, we can be a little discouraged when we say things and it seems like no one receives it. We don't hear the echo back. And so we say hello, and there's nothing. And so we assume we're maybe speaking into a void and it's getting swallowed up. Our words are getting swallowed up. And so we're like, hello, and we don't hear the echo back. And so we fear it was swallowed up, it wasn't heard. And so maybe we're like, hello, hello, hello. But because what is it? Sound travels a little slower than light. So it's going to be heard a little bit more distant in time from when you deliver the message. And so all this time you're out here thinking you are speaking into a void. Maybe think of it more as you're speaking through a tunnel, and it takes a long time to travel the distance to the hearer. And so when you are someone who is delivering messages and you're like not seeing the 3D reflection that people have heard you, you're not getting the number engagement, the likes, the, views, the feedback that proves to you that your words were heard. You might feel pressured to like, oh, should I do another thing? Should I say another thing? Let me put out more stuff. And so now we're on the day of the Sabbath, okay? This is the day where we rest because we know it's done. We have put out our order and it is being fulfilled. You can trust that you have said your message and it is reverberating. It is traveling the distance to reach the people that need to hear it in the exact perfect timing. You don't have to go, hello, 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 because you don't hear your hello echoed back to you the first time. You can trust that it was delivered and, don't cloud the message by then just saying a bunch of other things because you're afraid you're not being heard. Just say it. The void has it. Yeah, I think we have this idea of the void. It kind of like screaming into the void. It's like your words go into this space and then they're swallowed up and like disappeared. But like, what if the void is like it's transporting it. It's a vehicle. You say it, you're air bending, you speak words into the air, and the void takes it and transmutes it. What does that call that? Transports it to the people who are supposed to hear it in exactly the right time when they're supposed to hear it. So yeah, you can trust the void. The void's been with you. When no one else was listening to you, the void was there. The void was like, I got you, girl. Keep giving me your screams. Give me your cries. Give me your messages. And the void isn't just taking those messages and like deleting them, throwing them away. It's transporting it through time and space to the people who need to hear it at the exact right time. So all you need to do is strike the pose and hold it, take the shot and hold your follow through. Speak and allow your echo to reverberate. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. You're the Mona Lisa, man. You you know, being painted by, ooh, I want to say Da Vinci. Um, you're the Mona Lisa and you're sitting for the first day and like, oof, when you first sit and like do your little coy smile, um, it's fun. It's like, ooh, I love this. Probably for the first like 10 minutes. And then you're like, okay, actually, this is kind of boring and it's actually hard. And like, now my face feels weird. And I'm like, am I even smiling right? Is this how I smile? And she's starting to get self-conscious about the pose that she's holding. Hopefully, presumably, she has to gain some trust in herself that even though it feels weird holding a pose like that, it's giving. And she's going to have to hold that pose for a couple of minutes, a couple of hours. She's going to have to come back the next day and hold that same pose awkwardly for a couple of hours. But then maybe by like the third, the fourth, the fifth day, maybe it's easy. Her vessel has adapted to what it's being, what it's doing repeatedly. And so now it's like kind of her resting face is this like chill Mona Lisa face, and she can just chill and kind of zone out and go into her own world. And um, she can do that, hold the pose until the masterpiece is completed. You don't have to be like, okay, now let me do this pose. Okay, now this pose. Just hold this one. It's perfect. Yeah, your nervous system likes things that are familiar to it. And when you are in the process of building a habit, making something normal, when you're in this liminal space, in the in between, it can feel a little uncomfortable and scary for your nervous system because your nervous system is looking for familiarity, pattern. And that's why the repetition is so important. That's why it's so important to keep holding the pose. That's why, when you're learning to shoot a basketball, you don't learn like this one day and then the next day it's like this and then like it's that way the next day and like this the next way. Like you just hold the pose and repeat the pose over and over again. You hold it for longer than you think you need to. You hold the shot longer than the ball is in your hand. That's just how it works, though. You got to hold something for a little bit for it to solidify into jello, You can't just go right from a liquid gelatin into a jello something in a jello mold. You're in that time where you've been heated up and liquefied and poured into the mold, and now you just got to chill. And I bet a lot of us are uncomfortable with me saying, now you just got to chill. You've done everything you need to. You've been through the fire. You've been broken down. You've been, changed shape. You've been now you're laid into this mold, and all you got to do is just chill. Now you just got to relax. And I know that's uncomfortable for you. I know you come from a long line of people who were a little suspicious of relaxing, who are a little afraid of holding the pose, of resting on their laurels. So maybe you're afraid if you hold this pose too much, if you rest on what you've already done, if you just keep doing the same thing you've been doing, I don't know, that something's wrong with it. Maybe you've changed a habit and you're now experiencing some people who are like, oh, come on, you used to do this other thing. Like, do that other thing. Haven't you done this thing for long enough? And that's just the universe, like, being like, are you sure? And you are like, yes, I'm holding the pose. I know people might be like, imagine if you're like taking a picture and someone comes up and they're like, why are you just standing there? Why don't you move? Hey, what's going on? Hey, talk to me. I'm talking to you. And you're like, I'm taking a picture. I'm holding the thing. You don't want your picture to be like, oh, you distracted and you do something else. You want to be able to capture the vision. You want to hold the vision. Oof. This is also what this is about. Holding the vision. You've been, consistently embodying this new identity, this highest self, your future self. You've been embodying this divine version of you. Even when some people are like, oh, are you still on that? Even when people are like, oh, come on, can you do something different? It's not working. And you're just like, I know, I just have to hold the pose. I just got to hold it. Yeah. Yeah. I delivered the message. So hold the pose. This liminal space, this in-between time where you're solidifying, where you're congealing, where you're building the muscle memory, your nervous system is, being repeatedly trained. It is, what did I say that's called? It likes familiarity. You're getting familiar with this pose. It's starting to just be a natural pose for you now. Powerful. All right, I delivered the message. Like, comment, subscribe. This is all made up. I love you so much. And I'll talk to you, Earth Angels, tomorrow. Bye.